Hi, my name is Mark and this is a short video to show how to assemble the camera for Astrid. So you're going to need a few things. You're going to need some thread locker, you're going to need this single jumper wire, pair of tweezers, screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, piece of paper towel and the camera. So here's the camera kit. So in the custom camera kits we have a few things. We've got the CS mount here. We've got some gaskets and a couple of screws. And then in here we've got the camera. And we also got a couple of cables. You don't need, some of the parts are extra. You don't need this gold color cable, so we're going to get rid of that. But we do need the white one. That's the correct one to connect to the Raspberry Pi. So first thing we do, let's take the camera out of its case. Okay, so you can see there's like a little protective shield on here. And we're going to keep that protective cover on there until we're done. We've got everything assembled. Just makes life easier. The other thing you're going to need is a pair of clippers as well. So the first thing we want to do is we want to just clip off this pin here. So there's two pins on here. And the way they ship, it's there to give it structural integrity when it's being soldered. So we want to save this one on the left, but we do want to clip off this one on the right. So we're just going to do that. There you go, and that's gone now. So it should look like that when you clipped it. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is put the gasket on the sensor. So you may have one or two gaskets and 2 or 4 screws. We only need one gasket and one screw, so just save that one if you've got extra. Put it somewhere. Okay, so the gasket is adhesive on the back, and all you need to do is just peel off the backing paper like that, and then I generally just hook it underneath. There's a little tab on the cover, so I just pop it underneath there, just make sure it's square, and just make sure it's completely fits around the sensor before you push down and stick it down. There you go, that's done. Next thing we want to do is grab the CS mount. So here you can see there's like a little tab here, so we can lift that paper. You want to make sure that that tab is accessible from this side. So you can see in there the tab is on this side, so we can grab it with tweezers at a later time to remove it. So when you've got that arranged, just put it on the like that. So when you've got that arranged, just put it down the table. Okay, then we need to put the screws in. Now we want to use some thread locker on this, and that can get a bit messy sometimes, so just have a piece of paper towel in case you put too much on. What I normally do is I grab the screw with tweezers like this, and I just put a blob on the end. If you put too much on, you can always just wipe it off before you put it inside the camera, and then just drop it in the hole like that. Then we're going to do the same with the other one. There you go. Like that, and then just grab a screwdriver. Now what I generally do, you can actually, because the gasket has some give on it, you probably don't want to screw down too tightly initially. So I'm just doing it so it's loosely grabbed it, and then I'm doing it on the other side so you don't tilt the mount unduly in one direction, right? Then once you've got them both down, you can tighten them up. Don't over tighten them to the point of stripping them, but try and make sure they're fairly well tightened down like that. Okay, and then if you've got any extra squeezing out, then just mop it up. Then essentially that's that bit done. The next thing we need to do is grab the jumper wire and just push it onto the pin. It doesn't always go all the way down. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't, just depends. Sometimes you might find there's a bit of a gap there. And then the next thing we need to do is grab the flat flex cable, which is this guy here. Note the orientation. So the pins, you can actually, if you look inside, you can actually see that the pins on the board side. Just make sure you got this pointing the same direction, and just make sure you have to put them in kind of square. Just make sure they're fully seated like that. And then I just generally grab a finger either side or a nail either side, and then just squeeze it in like that. Make sure that it's fully closed in here and there's no gap between the black part and the beige part. And yeah, that's essentially done. So that camera's now prepped. If you're not going to assemble it immediately, then you can just put it back in the anti-static bag. So that's one option. And when you're ready to, when you want to open up the sensor, so for instance, I generally leave this closed until such point as you're going to attach a lens, like an iota reducer or something like that, or a lens cap. I do have lens caps that I use to protect sensors too, but if you've got that cover on, you don't need to worry. Before you remove the cover though, I would just blow any dust out upside down, and then you can just grab tweezers and find that tab. So let's just do that. Now just be careful when you do this, you don't jab the sensor with the, just grab this here. Just be careful you don't jab the sensor with the tweezers, and then you just pull that off. Now the sensor's exposed, and obviously at that point you want to make sure, just makes your life easier if you've got a lens cap on, some kind of cap, or you've got, it's upside down on the desk, or you've got an iota focal reducer in there. Just something to protect that sensor, because it's a lot easier to keep it clean than it is to try and clean it afterwards, obviously. And that's it. Camera's prepped. Thank you. Please remember to rate and subscribe. Thank you.